Perfect. All right. Thanks everyone for calling in. This is some claim suite training on initial notice, claims, and adjudication. So a bit of housekeeping. Questions will be taken at the end of each module. Please use the chat function to submit questions, and keep your mics on mute unless asking questions during Q&As. In Teams, you can raise your hand with the little hand here, or use the chat button in the Teams function. So today's session is being recorded to support future training. By attending this training, you consent to the recording. This recording will be attached to the Claims Suite in CMS, similar to other apps in the system, so you'll always have reference to it. So once we're done with the recording and editing it and so on, we will include it in CMS. This is a targeted session for contractors and the provincial regional claim staff, and it's going to focus on initial notice, claims, and adjudication processes. So I see there's some CA staff online. You're welcome to stay, but at this point in these processes, you have no involvement with this workflow. But you're always welcome to stay online to listen in. The claim suite is available starting today, so we're still working on a couple of permissions, but everyone should have access to the claim suites, and any CRs moving forward will be able to be used with this new process. Anything that was started outside the system will remain outside the system and be completed that way, and then anything new will follow this new process. My name is Mark Su. My home position, I'm a CSA in Eastern Region in the Ottawa area. I'm in an acting position as a team lead in the business solutions section, working on the CMS team. I also have Ryan McCatcher. He's also the team lead for this section, and he'll be here helping out and answering questions as we're going through the presentation. Just some CMS resources. At this point, everyone should know where to find all of our CMS contact info or user guides, tip sheets, weekly updates, and training presentations. They're all at the MTO technical documents site. So that's all our information is there. And for our internal staff, you can either come here to the MTO technical documents site or go to our internal CMS SharePoint site. So today we're going to talk about, I'm going to go through a claim suite overview. I'm going to do some initial notice, claims, and adjudication training demonstrations and questions and answers. Go through a bit of CMS supports and answer any questions that you have at the end of the presentation. So claim suite overview. So the claim suite app timelines is as per the section 315 dispute resolution of the April 2023 general conditions. And it follows this this workflow. So it goes from you start your compensation.
Mark, you're muted. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, did you mute all maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah, how much did you hear?
In just a second or two, we lost. It starts with a compensation request.
All right. All right, let's get this going. So once the compensation request decision has been issued, the contractor will have the ability to either go straight to adjudication and follow the process, or go to a compensation request to initial notice. From initial notice, you'll go to a claim, and then it could be a transaction or just the claim will be denied and so on. And you go transaction, invoice, and end. There's going to be additional workflows to these specific roles, but that's just a general overview of the workflow of the claim suite. So just everything starts from a compensation request, goes from there to adjudication, to initial notice, to a claim, to a transaction, to an invoice, or from a claim to adjudication. So initial notice. So it's a process that allows contractors to give their initial intent to submit a claim. So similar to the other workflow chart, this is a bit more detailed. We go from a compensation request. When the decision has been issued, the contractor will submit their initial notice. From the initial notice, it'll go to the manager or head of claims for initial notice review. At that point, the manager of claims will either be able to ask for more information, which the contractor will be able to resubmit. And then at that point, the manager will be able to either acknowledge or reject. And at any point, the contractor will be able to withdraw his initial notice. And I'll show that through the demonstration. And once the process has ended, which is through acknowledgement, the contractor will have the ability to create a claim. So here's some a little bit more detailed activities for initial notice. So initial notice creation and is submission from a compensation request. So the contractor creates the initial notice after receiving written field decision in response to a compensation request and submits it to the manager head of contract claims. From there, the manager head of contract claims reviews the initial notice and may take the following actions. They can either reject, request more information, or acknowledge. At that point, for more information, the manager slash head claims can send the initial notice back to the contractor for more information, which then the contractor would resubmit with the requested additional information. The manager of claims can also reject and acknowledge the record, which at that point, once the record is acknowledged, the contractor can process the initial notice to a claim. And at any point during this process, the contractor can withdraw the initial notice. On Tuesday, I sent out all the user guides for this claim suite. So as part of the user guide, there's detailed instructions how to create an initial notice from a compensation request, acknowledging an initial notice, rejecting, requesting more information, contractor response to more information, creating a claim, and withdrawing an initial notice. We'll go through most of these steps today in the demo. If there's any questions during the demo, just raise your hand and Ryan will stop me. It's just once we're past the workflow, I can't go back and explain it. So that'd be greatly appreciated. And so I send the user guides in advance, just so if you guys want to follow along with the user guides and gather some notes and so on. It's just something we're trying to do ahead of time now, is provide some user guides and some documentations for the users to be able to follow to some of these presentations. All right. So now I've created these CRs. So for this first one, we're going to do from initial notice, the contractor will see it's in the stage of decision issued here. So once it's in a decision issued, the contractor will have the ability to either save, acknowledge, request adjudication, and create initial notice. So since we're going through the initial notice workflow, we will go through that. So I've just included one. I've included, everyone knows how to do a compensation request now, so I figured I wouldn't have to go through that step, so I've prepared everything ahead of time. So at this step here, the contractor would click on create initial notice. Start processing. Then at this point, the initial notice shows up. Everything's linked. The compensation request is linked here. Contractor, you can add anyone you want to the distribution list here, and they will get notifications when the documents have been submitted, and so on. Still shows the status in draft. So part of the initial notice details. So please provide the pertaining information to the submission. So you would include the date of the occurrence, the reason, high-level description. Your claim amount, time impact. I didn't put any time impacts on any of these examples, but you would put in whatever your time impacts would be, and any additional comments related to this initial notice. And then here you would add any other relevant, any relevant general condition sections and so on. So you can just put in all that information. For all of your documentation, you can add a CUA document, which everyone should know how to do that by now. You can link any other documents, any CRs and so on. And then you can upload a file. Then you would have your supporting documentation to support your initial notice. At that point, you could either save and close. And then if you're ready to submit, you can click submit, or you can click on the edit button here, and you'll be able to go in and add and update, revise your document before you submit it. So at this point here, we will submit. I'm not going to show the withdraw button, but at every step of the initial notice, you will have the option to withdraw your initial notice. As you see here, I got a notification. So this notification gets sent out to the manager of claims. So they would get an email identifying that this initial notice has been submitted and requires action. And they also receive a task. So they would click on the tasks. Now the manager of claims has the following action buttons. They can either save, more information, acknowledge, or reject. At this point for the training, I will ask for more information just to show the workflow, how it works. So the manager will have to include a comment for the more information. We see your supporting documentation here, and we would just click more information. And here there's by clicking this button, you confirm that the comments was provided the more information section. You say cancel if you haven't, and you say okay if you did. So at that point, the record returns to the contractor. The contractor will receive a task, which will show up. Now this is returned to the contractor, and it says more information requested. So it's under the more information tasks. So the contractor would come in and provide they would go back, they would see missing the comment would be missing schedule. They would go in, upload the upload whatever is missing, and they would just go and click submit. At that point, the record is returned to the manager of claims. Another task is provided. Manager claim goes to their tasks. And at that point, for this testing, everything is in accordance. So the manager would just put a response in here. It just says and would acknowledge the record. At that point, the contractor will get a notice through the tasks. Come up here. What's happening here? So if you go back to the CR, you can go back to the initial notice. Then at that point, the contractor can either withdraw or create a claim. So this is so we'll create a claim on the next module. So this is the only the initial notice. It's pretty simple. I guess I can go through and rejecting, but it was the same process. The manager here, I can create one here. So under compensation requests, this one here is already in the PO claims review. So it's with the manager head of claims. We will click the initial notice. It's not updating for some strange reason. One sec here.
You can try right click and close. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Back on track. So at this point here, the this record is in the review tasks stage. It's with the manager of claims. At that point in the previous demonstration, we went acknowledge, but in this one here, we will go reject. And by rejecting this, it closes that initial notice record. It's closed, rejected, and that's it. Point that the manager would have included a response to say as to why the initial notice was rejected. And then at that point, this record is closed. The compensation request for this one is also still in the PO claims review, but there's nothing you can do at this point. It's either you'd have to recreate a CR with all the new information and move forward. So any questions on the initial notice portion? Pretty straightforward. All right, we will move forward to questions. No questions. So we're going to move to claims, process that felicitates the management and possible resolution of a claim. The workflow here is a bit lengthier. So here it starts from the contractor prepares the claim. It goes to the claims analyst for a claims conformance review. From there, if it doesn't meet the contract requirements or out of time, the claims analyst can reject the claim and the record has ended. If the conformance review meets the contract requirements, the claims analyst would submit it to the manager, and then from that point, the manager would assign a claim lead. The claim lead would then, at that point, review the submission and provide a response, which could possibly be a settlement offer or just a full-on deny. At that point, based on the decision, the contractor has the following options. They can accept the decision and we'll process through the claim release, issue the claimant payment, create the transaction, and then include it on the invoice. There's also, if the contractor also have the ability to go to adjudication, which it would go through the adjudication app. Or we can go through the alternate dispute resolution, which this is done completely outside the system. And if the contractor accepts our denial response, they can just click on the accept denial, and it goes to it closes the process. So based on those workflows, so contractor creates and submits the claim. So claim be initiated only from an initial notice. Once the initial notice is acknowledged, the contractor will select create claim command, and a claim record will be created. Contractor will access the application and fill out the claim submission. At that point, the claim analyst will be able to request for more information, and it's the same process as an initial notice. It gets sent in, you would get a task for more information. Contractor would add the information, and then it would go back to the claim analyst. At that point, the claim analyst can reject a claim, and they just need to put in a justification as to why they were rejecting it. If once the claim analyst has done a cursory review and the claim meets the performance of the contract, then this is sent off to the manager of claims, which at that point the claim analyst will just click on submit to claims manager head action button. At that point, this record will be at the claims manager review stage, which at that point, the manager will assign a claim lead. At that point, the claim lead can extend the response time in the claim record. This is all done outside the system. If it's agreed upon, then the claim lead can go inside the claim. I'll be showing that in the demonstration, and they can just put in the revised extension for the response date. At that point, the claim lead will issue a issue a response. At that point, the contractor will review the claim decision, which they'll have these steps. They can either click on proceed to adjudication, accept, request alternate dispute resolution, or accept the denial. If the accept button is action, then we move on to the claim release. In that event, the contractor accepts the claim decision, and then the claim lead is assigned a task in which they will upload the claim release form. Once that is action, the claims manager will receive a task to generate an OPA within the system, acceptance offer of the settlement. At that point, after the claims manager and head has created the OPA, the contractor is notified. The contractor can process the creation of the invoice through the invoice app. References to the invoice record hyperlink that's paid on the claim is shown in the OPA transaction app and in the claims app. So it's all traceable and so on. So in the user guides that were provided this week, so we have detailed instructions on how to create the claims, requesting more information, responding to more information, rejecting a claim, submitting a claim to a manager, assigning a claim lead, extending the response required date, issuing claim response to contractor, proceeding to adjudication, accepting a claim, accepting claim deny, alternate dispute resolution, release a claim, issuing a payment, and creating an invoice. So those are all the clear, there's a clear path for all of these actions that are related with this portion of the app. Before we get started with the demonstration, any questions, comments? All right.
There's one question in the chat there, Mark.
Oh, okay. All right, so the one question, should the contractor include the CA in the claim record recipient list? No, the CA has no involvement in this claim process. If there's any involvement, then the claims group will go and ask for information from the CA and the CSA. So you would just include either your own internal people and that's it. All right, so now under claims. So right now I've created myself a claim. It's under the PO review stage. So under this CR11, it's under claims review. The initial notice has been created. At that point, it's with the contractor. The manager of claims has acknowledged the initial notice. Therefore, the contractor has this option here to create the claim. So we will go through create a claim. So the contractor will see these records. As you can see, like I've populated myself as, because I'm in a testing environment, I put myself in as all the roles. So here it would automatically populate the contractor, the contract, the manager, head of claims, the claims analyst, your service provider would be showing up, and the CA and the CSA would show up in the listing for future correspondence if required by the claims folks. At this point here, you'd be able to attach anyone else in here that you want to have notifications of the claim. The status is still set in draft, and we have our creation date. I submitted the CR on May 7th, and now we've created this claim on May 9th. At this point here, the contractor will be asked to I guess, upload any new information that they want to add to the claim. So they can use the upload button or the add CUA to link any documents. And at that point, everything else is populated from the initial notice. So you have the description, the claim amount, the time impact, and just a comment here. So at that point, the contractor would submit the claim. At this point, the claims analyst will receive a task for conformance review. So at this point, the claims analyst, which is it's listed in the conformance review portion in the general section, will review the submission from the contractor. They'll be able to review and download any of the submitted documents. They would fill in the information for conformance review and ask for more information. So for this, we will ask for more information. So here you would click on this little square. And you would put in your request. So you're requesting for the missing schedules. The claims analyst will be able to upload any documents and so on. And you just click done. So we have missing schedule. We will request more information. At that point, the contractor will get a notification under their tasks. And the task shows up for more information to the contractor. The contractor can click on more information. They would come down, upload any new documents required. Open up the more information action. And provide a response. At that point, the contractor would, once all the information has been submitted and attached, would submit it once again to the claims analyst. See, there's a question here for claims that have been created outside the system. The original CR decision is still listed in my task. How do these now close out of the system? Yeah, so for those, we're just going to leave those as is. We can the system is not dependent on closing all of these documents, so we can just leave them as is.
We have a standing rule too, Mark, for if you've got lingering or duplicate tasks or something like that at the end of the job. If you have a task in your task list and the job's complete, completion's been issued and all that good stuff, you can send into the help desk and we'll get those tasks deleted, but we can't really do it while the job is underway because it's linked to an actual workflow.
Yeah. So now the claims analyst will receive a conformance review email or notification for tasks. They will come in and now we will go in and update the conformance review. Then at that point, the claims analyst will submit it to the manager. Next step is we're going to receive a task here that's going to the manager of claims. And the task is called Claims Manager Review here. At this point, the manager of claims will assign a claim lead. I will just assign myself. And at that point, the manager can add anyone else in the distribution list. The status is still under open, under claims manager review, as all this populates, all this information populates, how many days has been, how many days the record has been open, when conformance review was accepted, and when a date is required. So we have the notice of claim information, which gets populated in the claim. At this step, the manager can ask for more information. We've done that a couple times now, so we know the process. It goes back. You put in your requested documentation, and then it would just go back to the contractors and back to the claims manager. Has a section here for me for the conformance review. At that point, the claims manager can either populate the claims review portion or just assign it to the lead. So at that point, we will assign to the claim lead, and the claim lead will get a tasks. So now the claim lead review gets this task. So you would just go to his task and start the review. So during this period, so at this point here, I will go through extending the response period. So this is all done outside the system. So the claim lead will be able to just either send an email and so on and have confirmation from the contractor. The claim lead would attach this that email that everyone's in agreement with extending the review period. The claim lead would come up here under negotiated days. So we're adding an extra 10 days to the review period. And then we click on the extend response period. So even if during this stage here, it's going to ask, the system will ask you to fill in the required information. You're going to have to insert a claim category. For this purpose, we'll just click one, and a comment is required. Don't need to populate anything that's in blue, just the ones with the red asterisks. So I'll just leave those blank for the moment, and I would populate this. At this point, we'll the claim lead will be able to update these once it comes back from the extend period. You just have to fill out all of the red sections. At that point, you would click extend period. At that point, you would go, the claim leads can go back to the claim. It's still under claim lead review. you're going to see that the date was added 10 days. The original required response date was sometime in July. Now it's August 2nd. So it added the 10 days there. At that point, the claims analyst can either ask for more information again, which we all know how to do that now, or issue a response to the service provider. So for this one here, we will go through, we've extended this. So we're going to issue the claims response. So then the claim lead will go through and fill out the recommended amount. So the claim was for 15,000. So recommended time 0. Results of the claim. And then the claim review report would get attached by using the upload button. Which this section, the contractor won't be able to see. This is all internal. Same thing for the decision summary. Offered. Base amount. Liquidated damages, 0. Intro 0. 0. Claim response. And then they would go back in and update this portion from a denial to an offer. Amount 15. 0 applicable. And then they can upload the decision letter. So the contractor would have a copy of the decision letter. And obviously this is all done ahead of time and is done in the system after. So once that is in there, you would issue to the service provider, which you get a verification notice. Please verify the amount of the claim. Once it's accepted by the contractor, the amount will appear on the next invoice. So you would click OK. If you were to click canceled, you could have went back into the record. At that point here, contractor will receive a task. Which will be under the claim decision review stage. That point here, the contractor will have proceed to adjudication, accept, request alternate dispute resolution, and accept the denial. So for this workflow, we will accept the offer. So the contractor will see the settlement details. See the settlement detail and see the decision letter that was previously provided via email and so on during the negotiations. So so the contractor accepts the offer. And then it's going to go to the claim lead to release the claim. Waiting on the notification. So at this point, the claim lead will get a claim release task. Status shows up, it's under claim release. Populates all the notice of claim information, the more information, when the performance review is completed, the claim review, claim response, offered amount 15,000. Decision shows up, issued by, the date, the amount offered with the time offered, and the settlement details are still shown. At this point, the claim release form is attached. And then the claim lead will press release claim. At that point, the manager of claims will receive a new task to create the OPA. So here, issue claim payment. At this point, all the information gets populated and updated. And if the manager is happy with all of this information, they can issue the claim payment. So just because it's related to a payment, we need to click on the view source to be able to get into the payment portion of the system. So this is all in the user guide. It says click on this view source button at the top here of the record. So you would click on the button. At that point, this is all the same information that was populated during the entire review, and then we would issue a claim payment. You would click process. And then the manager of claims would go in and create this OPA. So you see the claim reference here is claim 7, the project. It's a lump sum OPA. The OPA category is adjudication decision, but there's no claimed OPA registry right now. So we're working on adding that in there. And the status, and then the description. Say claim 7. Offer lump sum unit price is 15,000, same price as the and save and close. At that point, the manager would click approve. And at that point, it's giving you an error because they want you to put the adjudication type OPA. So now we need to click edit to attach a record. So you would put in the offer letter and so on, just as confirmation to the record. So it's forcing you to put in the supporting documentations for future reference. You would save and close. And you would approve. And then at that point, the contractor would be aware that there's an approved OPA. And the contractor would just create an invoice and populate that OPA, and it'll either show up on the next invoice or on that invoice that you want to get paid for that claims right away. So any questions on that one workflow? I know there's a lot of steps in that one. That one's really detailed in the user guide. So we will keep going. So under CR 12, I created an initial notice, and at this point, we will reject a claim. So again, under CR 12, you have your initial notice. So a lot of repetitious steps here. So here we see the claim is listed. Sweet. Claims 3. All right, at this point here, this is still with the claims analyst. And at this point, if the conformance review doesn't meet, justification. Obviously, they'd put in more information just for training. They would upload any documentation to support why it doesn't meet the contract contract requirements, and we would just click reject. At that point, claims 3 would show closed and stage rejected. There's nothing else. The manager of claims, if something does happen, the manager of claim has the option to reopen the claim, but at this point, the contract has no further action. That claim is closed.
For claim, you know. Huh? 10.
All right, so that's just rejecting a claim from the claims analyst. Same thing if I go to claim number 4. Here we're at the claims. So this is at the claims decision record. So claim decision review. So this is with the contractor. At this point, we recommended 0. We recommended denial of 0. And at this point, if you accept our offer or offer this response, you would just click accept deny. And the claim would show as close and accept deny. And then for claim 5, I'm just going through all the steps that are shown in the user guide. So for claim 5, this is still in the claim decision review. We've already done accepted, accept deny. Now this step, we will request alternate dispute resolution. At that point, this is all done outside the system, and the contractor follows the steps detailed in the general conditions. There's nothing in the system for alternate dispute resolution. Any questions concerning the claims portion? Right. All right, we'll go through the adjudication. So adjudication is a legislated dispute resolution process that allows parties to present a dispute to an independent third party. So for the adjudication, it can be it can be issued through a compensation request or through the claims, which I've shown in some of the demonstrations at what steps that those buttons are available to the contractor. At that point, the adjudication is the button is action from the contractor, and they submit the adjudication notice. At that point, the record will stay with the contractor until they've contacted ODAC and has all the appropriate information to include in the adjudication notice for it to be submitted to the MTO lead. At that point, the MTO lead will include the adjudication response and either submit it for payment to pay the adjudication, which will just go get paid within the 10 days required, or close the adjudication, which then would close or it would keep going. So here's a bit of details. So creation and submission. So the contractor initiates the adjudication record in CMS from a compensation request or from a claim. Their record remains with the contractor until the adjudication notice has been uploaded. Contractor is to contact the claims manager to request the MTO lead contact. When the notice of adjudication record has been submitted by the contractor, MTO is notified the adjudication has been requested and will receive an adjudication notice email advising that the adjudication has been requested. Once the contractors receive the case number and adjudication notice from ODAC, contractors to update the record with the information provided by ODAC and action the submit adjudication notice. The MTO lead is notified that adjudication notice has been submitted. So during the update determination, so after the whole process has been completed outside the system, and the adjudicator has issued a determination, ODAC system will notify the parties as they exist in the ODAC system of the determination when it is issued. MTO lead will download the determination from the ODAC online portal and upload the adjudication record. Determination record will be in CMS. And then if a determination awards a final compensation to a claimant, payment shall be made by the respondent within 10 calendar days. MTO lead will add the required information to the adjudication record, determination section, and then upon completion, user will have the following command. They'll have save, close adjudication, and submit for payment, just like what was shown on the workflow. During the pay adjudication stage, the contract services folks will receive a notification with the details of the adjudication award and other information required for processing of the payment. Contract services processes the adjudication payment outside the system. We're still working on the system to see how we're going to add that into the actual payment. Most of these adjudication processes occur after the contract's completed, so it doesn't really impact, but the ones that do occur during the 3, 4, 5-year projects, we're trying to see how we can link that into the system without having any issues with double payment of a adjudication award. The user guide that was provided this week, it has the processes on how to create an adjudication and submission an adjudication record, withdraw an adjudication, update a determination, and request a payment for adjudication. So those are all clearly detailed in the user guides. Step-by-step information is shown at that location. Now I will go back into CMS. Any questions before I start demonstration?
Nothing in the chat.
All right. So under compensation requests, so for this record here, I had started a CR for this adjudication record. And everything's linked, so you would follow through the steps. Initial notice. The claim 6 associated with this. So as always, the contractor always has the option to close the claim. And then since we're going to alternate dispute, we will go to claim 6, which the contractor has these available options. So this is the same information that was provided when we went and accepted, and when we did the accept, deny, and request alternate dispute. At this point here, the decision was issued. It was a denial, a full denial, and the contractor wishes to proceed to adjudication, and they just action this button here. This point here, this adjudication record shows up. You would contact the manager of claims for the MTO lead. We couldn't link this straight to the claims analyst or the lead and so on. So here you need to contact the head and the manager to get that person. At that point, if at any point on the MTO side or the adjudicator, they have all the contacts. If they have any questions or comments concerning this such issue, contractor, you have the ability to add into the distribution list. The status is still shown as draft. At this point here, you don't have the case number. You don't have the case name, the case number. You can put in the date that's created. You'd put in the dispute amount. Description of this dispute. Just put training for now. Any notes that you want to add. And at this point, you can't attach the notice of adjudication because you haven't received it yet. So here, you can upload any documents related to the adjudication, the notice, and so on. So here you would just do the initial submit. So at this point here, you get a notice. Contract must initiate adjudication in ODAC. Please contact the ODAC group. At that point, you click OK. And this record stays with the contractor. So once the contractor has received all of this information, they would click on the edit record. They would enter the case name. Case number. You would click that you have attached a PDF copy of the notice. You would upload the document. And at that point, you would submit. I'm not going to go through the withdraw. This button's always available for the contractor to withdraw the adjudication, but there's specific steps in the user guide that before you click on the withdraw button, that you get the you withdraw it at the adjudication level first and attach that confirmation of withdrawn into this upload portion. So it's included in this document. So when you go to withdraw, it'll be linked in there and all the ODAC information will be in there that all the parties accepted the withdrawn. So at this point here, you've attached everything required for the notice of adjudications, which then would get sent to the MTO lead. So here we will submit. Get that out of the way. Go to tasks. Just received a new task. So now at this point, this is with the claim lead. The claim lead can either close adjudication if there's a no payment awarded or submit for payment. At this point here, we will go to Claim Suite, adjudication record. So at this point here, the MTO, everything's done outside the system. The MTO lead will fill out the determination that was provided from ODAC from the download. We'll put the determination date, the summary, which we'll put offer. So you would put in all the applicable information. You would put in the adjudication information. The award amount. If there's any interest, you would add that also. There's an available area here if you want to add any additional notes. No time, awarded time is 0. And then here, you need to upload your submission from ODAC. At that point, all the information has been updated in determination, and then we will submit for payment. At that point, we get a task. At this point, it's with contract services. Excuse me. So contract services received all this information. The disputed amount is 15. The offer is 15,000. So they would go in and click on confirm payment. Another notice comes out. Which at that point, the status is now enclosed. The head of contract services went in and paid it outside the system, which is just paid through PPS, and the record is closed. At that point, I think I think I missed a step here for the head of contract services. They can go in and attach the payment certificate for this into this section here, which shows the support and documentation for the adjudication that it was paid. All right, I went through all the steps for adjudication. Any questions? No, I went through every single step. All this will be included in the Claim Suite, app in CMS, so you'll be able to reference that at any time or use the user guides. That was one of the complaints before from these trainings, that we didn't go through every single step. So I know it's a bit long and dry, but I appreciate everyone attending. So any questions with adjudication? No? Right. So CMS support, as always, we have our mtocms@ontario.ca email if there's any questions concerning actual CMS related issues. All I'll ask is that for any specific related inquiries related to any of your initial notice, claims, and adjudication, please contact your MTO contacts, because our help desk won't be able to help you if it's something specific related to something to do with your initial notice, claim, or adjudication. I'll send out a copy of these slides. If there's any questions at any time, I can either contact myself, Ryan, Jamie's our head. Any other questions, comments, anything you want me to go through again? The floor is yours.
Hello, Mark. Sorry.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I can have a question about the change orders in CMS.
Like currently, there's an issue with change orders. No one can access them, if that's what you're asking for.
Okay, yeah, that was exactly.
It's with the help desk. It's gone to the KUA folks. It's a global issue right now. We're all getting that same the two warnings.
Okay, so that's related to the category we're gonna choose, and it's not open. The change order category.
For change order, yeah, I think any change orders, any existing change order records right now, we can't access. There's something going on in the system, so we have a ticket for resolution.
Okay, thanks for confirmation. I'm gonna wait for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Rob. Anybody else? Questions, comments? All right, I guess any further questions, you can send them by email. User guides have been developed. They have every single step. I appreciate everyone's time. Ryan, did you want to add anything? We all good? Give everyone back 45 minutes.
Yeah, great job. Thank you.
Hey, Mark.
Thanks, everyone.
Kevin Manaslock, I was just gonna extend my thanks as well. Currently the manager of the Contract Claims Office. This is a great tool. I know it's a bunch of work, and looking forward to using it and hopefully saving a bunch of emails and stuff and submissions that are coming in kind of the old style way. And hopefully this makes it easier for everybody. So just again, thanks for the work on it. And that goes out to everybody that worked on this system from our department and from yours. Thanks.
Yeah, no, we had some good user testing, so the whole group was great, and we went through all the roles and all that, so this app will be good for everyone.
Cheers.
All right, thanks everyone.